Hi guys, it's indeed my pleasure to have Hitesh Prajapati with us. Hitesh is an automation guru. Okay, and let me clarify why he is so. He is competent not only in Selenium, he's worked on Protractor, Cypress, Appium, API automation. He is also a CPSAT advisory member, and he is working as a test automation consultant at Paul Mason Consultancy. Hitesh, we would like to welcome you, and this is with reference to the workshop that you are doing, a pre-conference workshop in 88 GTR 2022. It's on 9th December, starts from morning 10 a.m. It will go out till the evening, um, and it's on Selenium 4. So my first question to you, if you're okay, then I would like to ask you that why is Selenium 4.x knowledge important for every automation tester?
Yeah, I think before I answer the question, I think thanks a lot for the very brief but an informative introduction about myself. I think it goes for you guys as well. You guys have given me those opportunity, and I was able to be a part of a lot of hackathons, and then at part of ATA as well. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot again for helping me in scheduling this workshop. So yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, to for your question, I think Selenium 4, it has been long running thing from Selenium community or Selenium founders, that they, because nowadays the browsers that we are seeing, they are now mostly adhering to the W3C standards, and Selenium, earlier version of Selenium, that is less than 4, where mostly worked on, was designed with considering JSON wire protocol. So with the latest browser, I think starting from now, most of the browser will be on W3C standards. Obviously, that does not eliminate use of Chrome drivers, but the way the underlying things has been developed from the coding perspective. So there is no big impact for a end user who is using the automation tools as in Selenium, but the underlying structure is changed in a way that it works with the most of the browsers. You might have noticed that Cypress and couple of other tools, they are in under development phase, and what they have given is that they have given a chart on which version and which browser it will run, because they have to be in compliance with the latest standard that has been launched by W3C, and the browser that they are adhering, they are constantly changing things. So for that purpose, the whole Selenium 4 was invented. Selenium 4 does not, it's, I won't say that it's completely upgraded. It's the lot of codes from there is reinvented, redeveloped, and created considering a lot of different things. From Selenium 4 perspective, there are lots of new feature like relative locators, and the biggest feature is CDP, which is a Chrome dev tools, which generally for now, at this point of time, it works with Chrome very effectively, which makes use of Chrome. So if you look at the Chrome dev tools as a part of inspect element, the whole thing is a package. So what Selenium guys did is they took the whole package and put it into their Selenium code. So now that enabled a lot of users to utilize the different functions. For an example, if they want to access console logs, there are errors, because as in when we do automation on web, there are lots of error that is getting printed on console due to maybe API error, maybe some functions are undefined, which is not visible on UI. But on UI, the only thing that they see is an error.
Yeah.
But on console, there are lots of errors that is there, which is useful for debugging. And not only that, even the network, even uh, mocking the geolocation, which was very crucial when we are working on different location based application. Now Selenium 4 supports out of the box using CDP. You can just mock practically any location. It does not have to be executed from a virtual machine which exists in that location. Not only that, the biggest challenge with a lot of mobile application and for a web application was, if they want to test a responsiveness, they might have to use the mobile. Technically, resizing the browser is a testing of responsiveness, but it won't mimic the devices, because device have a specific agents. That is something that is being sent as in request. with Selenium 4, there are lots of things like this has been enabled, and now people can actually use their browsers to move the actions of devices. So that is actually a cost saving thing for a lot of people who want to do a responsive test. They want to mimic the whole device into their browser. So I think there are lots of things. There's just a many of few things that I have shared, but there are lots of new things. And speaking of, I think will help you guys understand in Grid as well. But I think this is the in a nutshell what Selenium 4 brings into into the play.
Very nice. Absolutely in agreement. I see that you're covering what you just said. A lot of these are mentioned on the website. Relative locators are being covered, element screenshot is being covered, Windows and tab handling is being covered, and Chrome dev tools in detail it is being covered, including, as you said, simulating devices and network speed, and also Selenium 4 grid. So
Yeah.
now that is very interesting. I would definitely say that when somebody is signing up for this workshop and they get the entire Selenium 4 knowledge, which is practical, including Selenium 4 grid, it makes a lot of sense. So from a Selenium 4 grid, do they need to bring in any new setup, or how would you plan to do it?
So I think there are the grid that used to exist earlier, and the grid with Selenium 4 is completely revamped, or maybe a new code has been developed. So now this is for a bigger scale execution, but what we are going to target during the our session would be that we will run it on a standalone mode. So now there are lots of modes that is available for Selenium Grid to be used. So we'll execute the same set of test cases. So the whole idea from starting to end would be we will build actually on the fly a small codes of individual CDP implementation and a lot of things, and at the end we'll start learning the Selenium 4 grid. We'll set up on the fly, and we'll ask people to do run through that as well and implement that into their machines as well. But at the end of the day, we'll spare 1 hour to actually club all of the concept that we have discussed through the day or implemented through the day. We'll club it and run it on a Selenium 4 grid. Now, as for the setup parts, I think their machine should be okay because we're doing on a standalone mode. And nowadays, there are Docker extension on Docker Selenium Grid. Docker things are also there, so we can actually utilize that. So they won't be needing anything other than their own machine to at least start with. I think, however, Selenium Grade 4 is actually a big concept now. Obviously, it will require a lot of different machine if you want to do it on a larger scale, but at least for their learning and actually implementation purpose, standalone and would Docker execution would be what we will be covering. If we have got chance, we'll definitely see how we can include other areas of the Selenium Grid more of in a practical way.
Very nice. Amazing, Hitesh. I said that we will probably take not more than 15 minutes. We've already spent around 10, and I know you are a
Yeah.
busy person. So, anything that you would like to tell our audience basically on the importance of attending this workshop? Um,
Yeah, yeah, sure. I think to all the audience who would like to learn how to get started with Selenium, see, the individual components can be learned by Googling or maybe looking at the YouTube. But what this workshop will bring on a plate is that on your existing automation suite, wherever you are using a web browser automation, we will put concept of individual CDP things. How? Because that will capture a lot of logs, and at the end of the execution, how you generate a report. We can actually log the things there. That will give you lots of information, not just only the automation suite reports, but as well as how the network was working in background, what are the errors that was coming on a console, and one single report which gives a lot of things for debugging purpose. Because as a tester or as a developer, I feel that there should not be unnecessary console errors, because developers sometimes define something and they forget to remove it, and all of the things comes as an undefined variable and all sort of thing in console. And we will capture all of the things as and when we are executing the automation suite. So at the end they will have a report which has all of this content, even the network as well. They can even capture that for particular session what are the API calls that has been executed with requests responses and a lot of things. So at the end, they will have a report which has a lot of difference. So I guess it is a different. So people might know individual concept, but which one to pick for their purpose is something that we are going to cover. Because just like how I started earlier, I worked on individual thing, and when I sit back, I now look at things which one I want to pick. Not all of the things will make sense to a lot of people, but at least something for certain set of test suite is will make sense to people as well. So that's what we are going to cover, and when to target which CDP function and how to use it, and that is what we are going to cover. And also in Selenium 4, there are lots of things that is there, but at least my personal understanding yet is we'll start it from a core, because to set up a Selenium 4 grid, it is very much important that you understand the working of it, and that's what we will cover. And also we'll make sure that we are executing them in a proper way, rather than just patching through the different code. So yeah, that's how we are going to target the whole workshop.
Amazing. I think, guys, I would recommend this workshop to everybody. Strongly recommend. Okay, don't get me wrong. This is something which is very, very important for everybody who is into Selenium to not miss this 8-hour session, practical session. And I have known Hitesh for a very long time. He's super awesome. He knows in and out of Selenium. So my request: don't miss this. Register today, uh, and we will be
Yeah.
looking forward for everybody in a collaborative manner. Thank you so much, Hitesh, for
Yes.
your time. Thanks a
Thanks.
lot.
Thanks. Thanks, Adi, for having me. Thank you.